Nietzsche once wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." But have you ever noticed that most men today have no why, only a desperate hunger for who? And that who is almost always her, the woman. The one he imagines will complete him, fix him, validate him, love him for who he is. But Nietzsche didn't buy into that fairy tale. He saw through it. He understood something that modern men, despite all their knowledge, still refuse to accept. The brutal truth that most men fail with women not because of women, but because they lack a purpose bigger than their craving to be loved. Nietzsche observed that weakness wears many masks, but the most dangerous is the mask of love. You see, a man doesn't fail when a woman leaves him. He doesn't fail when she rejects him. He doesn't fail when she mocks or ignores him. No, the moment of failure happens long before any of that. It happens when he makes her his purpose, when he makes her the sun his entire world revolves around, when he believes his identity depends on being accepted, wanted, or chosen. Most men have never built anything real in themselves. No discipline, no strength, no mission. And so when they meet a woman who makes them feel alive, they grab onto her like a man drowning grabs a rope. They make her their source of meaning, their new God, their new salvation. And Nietzsche, had he met you, would have looked you in the eye and whispered what no one else dares to say. You are not in love. You are in slavery. You see, Nietzsche believed that man's highest calling was to become what he called the Übermensch, the higher man. The one who creates his own meaning and lives with a strength so unshakable that nothing, not fear, not rejection, not loss, can destroy him. But the tragedy is, most men never even attempt this path. They settle for emotional dependency. They call their weakness romance. They build their lives around the hope that some woman will come along and make them whole. And in doing so, they give away their power before the relationship even begins. Women test men. Not to be cruel, but to expose the truth. Are you complete without her? Or are you just another beggar in disguise? A woman knows, even if she never says it, when a man has nothing going for him except the desperate need to be chosen. She senses when he has no mission, no backbone, no center. She may entertain him for a moment, but she cannot respect what he has not become. She cannot love a man who loves her more than he loves his own destiny. And a woman cannot follow a man who has nowhere to lead her. Because whether she admits it or not, she is always searching for a man who stands so firmly in his identity, in his mission, that even if she were to walk away, he would not flinch. She is wired to test his foundation, not because she enjoys seeing him suffer, but because she needs to know if the man standing before her is real, or just another pretender playing the part. Nietzsche wrote, "He who cannot obey himself will be commanded." And isn't that the state of most modern men? They are not commanding their own lives. They are waiting to be commanded by their emotions, by their loneliness, by the first woman who gives them attention. She senses this. She feels when you orbit around her like she is the sun, and you are just a planet spinning in desperate hope that you won't be cast out into the cold. And once she feels that, the game is already over. You lost before you even knew the game had begun. Because the moment you position her as your source of meaning, you stop being a man in pursuit of truth, and you become a child in pursuit of comfort. Nietzsche warned that weakness seeks flattery, but strength seeks truth. And the truth is this: no woman can make you whole. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. She can stand beside you, but she cannot complete you. She can share your life, but she cannot give you a life worth living. That burden belongs to you and you alone. And this is where most men sabotage themselves. They put the burden of their happiness on her shoulders. They hand her the keys to their sanity. They make her responsible for their worth. And when she inevitably fails to carry that weight, because no human can, they call her cold, heartless, manipulative. But the truth is, she was never the problem. You were, because you demanded from her what only you were ever meant to build within yourself. And here's the final irony. The man who no longer needs her is the only man she can truly love. The man who walks his path with or without her. The man who stands in his purpose without begging for permission. The man who can lose her and still remain himself. That is the man she cannot resist. Not because he chases her, but because he doesn't have to. He has already won the only battle that ever mattered. the battle within himself. But here's the cruel joke life plays on men. Most of you will never reach this realization until you've lost everything trying to prove you're enough for someone who was never supposed to carry that responsibility. You'll drain your energy, sacrifice your dignity, and waste years chasing a woman who was simply reflecting your own emptiness back at you. And when she finally walks away, as she inevitably will, you'll sit alone, shattered, believing that love is a lie and women are the enemy. But that, my friend, is the final trap. Because Nietzsche knew something far more terrifying than betrayal. The betrayal you commit against yourself when you blame others for the weakness you refuse to conquer. He said, "Whoever fights monsters should see to it that he does not become a monster himself." And in your pain, in your heartbreak, in your rage, you will be tempted to become exactly that. Bitter, resentful, poisoned by the belief that all women are your enemy. But Nietzsche would tell you that the real enemy has always lived within you. She was never the enemy. She was the test, the mirror, the wake-up call you refused to hear until it was too late. She didn't break you. You were already broken. She didn't destroy you. You came to her already desperate to be saved. And here's the most uncomfortable truth of all. No woman will ever save you. No relationship will ever heal what you refuse to face. No amount of affection, validation, or attention will fill the void you've been carrying like a wound since the day you abandoned your own mission. The only salvation is the path you've been avoiding your entire life. The path of becoming. The path of standing alone. The path of building a life so powerful, so purposeful, so overflowing with meaning that you no longer need anyone to complete you. You choose to give, not beg to receive. You choose to lead, not plead to follow. You choose truth, not comfort. And here is the final victory Nietzsche offers to the few men brave enough to take it. The moment you no longer need her, the moment you can let her go without collapsing, the moment you stand so fully in your own power that nothing, not love, not loss, not loneliness, can shake you. That is the moment you finally become the man she was looking for all along. Not because you chased her, not because you proved yourself, not because you gave up everything for her, but because you became something she could never break. So ask yourself right now, are you chasing her, or are you becoming you? If this message struck something deep inside you, if you felt the truth burning in your chest, don't let it die here. Take a moment right now to like this video, share it with a brother who needs this wake-up call, and subscribe to this channel. We're building something rare, a brotherhood of men who are done living on their knees, who are done begging to be loved, and who are finally ready to stand in the fire of becoming the men they were born to be.